Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel for another Sims build. How exciting! It's been so long since I've done one of these. I just haven't really been inspired to build anything, but I am back on the bandwagon and I have been inspired by a TV show that I am currently watching. So I'm watching the Orville, which has been created by Seth MacFarlane, so you probably know him from Family Guy. He does all sorts of comedy TV producing, and he has just made a show called the Orville, which is basically a parody or a homage, if you will, to Star Trek. So it's kind of a comedy sci-fi, and it's only been, I don't even know, maybe like 4 episodes or something, 5 maybe at the most. So I'm just kind of starting it, and I got really inspired by some apartments. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to be spoiler free because I'm not really going to talk about the story at all, but in the show there is kind of a space apartment building complex that you see in one of the very early episodes. I actually think it's in the first episode, and the main character lives in it, and I was really inspired by the kind of architecture that the apartment building was in the style of, and so I thought, man, that'd be cool to make in The Sims, and I don't think I've seen anyone else do it yet, so here we go. I gave it a go. So this was my first time using like curved decking, I want to say, or like patio, or whatever you want to call that outside flooring area. It was my first time giving that a go, and it did actually take me a little while to get that right, but what I actually did for this build what I did for this build was I streamed. So I live streamed the building of this apartment block over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/HelloMissPotter, and then I'm just finishing it and landscaping it, as you can see here, for this video. And I think that works really well for me, because otherwise I end up making videos that are like half an hour to 40 minutes long, and I don't like watching builds that are that long, so I don't really want to make builds that are that long. So I did this one as a Twitch stream, and it was really fun, although frustrating, yeah, with all the curved angles, learning what to do, but got there in the end, and I'm actually really happy with the way this worked out. I did try and do it as an apartment build, so I tried to kind of go in and get an apartment in San Myshuno and do it like that, but it just didn't really have the vibe that I wanted. I would have had to move out the family that's in the penthouse apartment, I think, to do it, really, and it still just kind of wasn't really exactly right. So I thought I'd just do it on a neighborhood lot, and it's not perfect in terms of its surroundings, but I'm really happy with the build overall. So I'm just kind of trying to ignore the fact that it's obviously not set in an amazing sci-fi futuristic neighborhood, because that doesn't really exist in The Sims 4 yet. Maybe it will one day. I think that would be cool, but we don't have a sci-fi alien neighborhood yet, unfortunately. But what I did have was a few screenshots that I took from the show and I used as reference material. I will overlay them here so that you can just see them real quick. So as you can see, the apartments are quite minimalistic. There's pretty much nothing inside of them. They're very stark, apart from a few kind of bold pieces of art here and there, and everything is quite white. So I wanted to really recreate that feel inside these apartments, and I did have the idea that probably living closer to the ground level would have been the people who were less wealthy. So those 2 floors on the bottom are actually smaller in height than the top floors are. They're a little bit shallower, and they have kind of a little bit less expensive items, I guess, in those rooms, and they're a little bit more basic. And then as you go up, the floors get taller, and the items in the rooms get a little bit more expensive and luxury, and I imagine that the more wealthy Sim would probably live on the very top floor, and they have all of the modern cons and top of the line items in that floor. So really it was just about finding kind of all of the just really plain white modern looking items, and then a few just oddball decorative items, and quite a lot of mirrors. Kind of just went with that one. I don't really know that was in the reference material, but I just went with it. Lots of lights. I was really excited actually, because I only just bought the Spa Day expansion pack, and I got to use pretty much all of the cool items that I had been looking forward to using from Spa Day in this build, because everything in Spa Day is really white and clean and modern, and it was absolutely perfect for everything I was trying to do in this build. And so that's, I think, why I ended up with heaps of mirrors in this build. But they look the part, I think, and those strip lights were definitely 100% on point. If you remember back to the reference material, they have kind of like all sorts of maze-like strip lighting across all of the walls, and obviously I can't do that, but I can use the strip lighting and create kind of their same feel, I guess, in this build. So I did make those bottom 2 floors pretty much identical, so I was just copy and pasting, or eyedroppering all of the items between the 2 floors and doing the rock landscaping. And pretty much I get bored if I have to do all of the landscaping at once, so I do it in pieces usually and go and do some object placement, and then I go back to the landscaping. I kind of just wanted to make it look like it wasn't sitting on the ground, this build. I usually, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I actually usually don't let any of my builds sit directly onto the ground, just because I kind of think it makes them look less realistic. But for this one, I kind of wanted to give the illusion that it was raised up on something at least, because yeah, in the reference for this, the cityscapes are really tall and towering, and you know, hundreds of stories up high, and obviously I can't do that in The Sims, but I can give the illusion that it is a little bit more raised than it really is, and kind of a little bit more alien, I guess, with this crazy wild grass growing. I didn't really know what to do with the outside landscaping area. It's a bit of a, yeah, like I say, because it's such a high up apartment building, there's obviously no reference for the exterior area or how you would get into the buildings. And the other thing, of course, that's weird about this build as opposed to the actual apartments is that in the show they fly into the apartments, so there's actually no stairs or anything. They just have spaceships that kind of dock on the front porch area. I guess on that front balcony would be where they would fly in. And they have a little dock, and they get out of there. I suppose it's like a little space garage. And they get out of their spaceships and they just walk right through the wall kind of into their house. So there's no such thing as stairs in the Orville version of these homes, but had to just adapt a little bit to make it work for The Sims 4. So moving up to the second to top floor, so this is the one below the top floor. I don't even know what I'm saying. And I wanted to put in, some of the nicer items in here and just make sure that it was a little bit nicer than the floors below. And I had seen actually that you could curve the countertops, and I hadn't done that before, so I just actually stopped to Google that really quickly and put in a curved countertop because I think that looks really cool. So if anyone else was wondering, you do have to turn off auto counters. Auto counters has to be off, and then you can click on the little color swatch and you can actually just make the curved edge of counter, which I think is pretty cool. It really suits this build. I love those windows also, the textures that they make when the shadows come through them. They're like, I guess they're like stone shapes, or you know, kind of organic. They look quite alien anyway, which I think makes them super perfect for this build. And just trying to create like a slightly nicer bathroom than they had downstairs. It's not very different. It's pretty much the same. The furnishing was definitely not the most important part of this build. I did want to make them playable though, so I have put in rubbish bins and I do put in letterboxes. I don't think I've done that yet, but I do put in the letterboxes. So I feel like you would have to move in a family of like, I don't know, 8. Like you could move in 4 couples to this lot and they could all live together. It would be a little bit chaotic, but you could definitely do it. I also wanted to make the kitchens really minimal because in the show they don't actually even cook. They just have the you know, like those really sci-fi microwave type things where you push a button and you say, I want a burrito, and out comes a burrito. So I did make the kitchens kind of as basic as I could, and the ones downstairs don't actually even have an oven. They just have the microwave and the fridge, so it's like the kind of closest I could get to that experience of pushing a button and getting the food out of it. But I did decide that these top, more luxury apartments would have the oven in them, so they can cook if they want to. I'm not actually sure how well, I think everything would work in these apartments to play. If you wanted to actually play this lot, I think it would work fine. Like, I think there's everything that you need, but it is quite basic. I did put in this floor and the one above computer, and downstairs there's easels, and everyone's got bookshelves. But yeah, only the top 2 floors have computers. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know about below if you can think of some kind of like neat family you could move into this lot. I'm not sure. And the top floor has like all of the super luxury glowing items, and that DJ booth is so perfect. It looks like a little spaceship that's docked on the edge of the house there. It's so perfect. And there's exposed filament lights. I love the way that those look, and they hardly ever look good in my build, so I was super stoked to have those all over the outside to kind of create an illuminated look. The apartments in the Orville are very, very glass, so they're all kind of fully glass exterior, because they're like hundreds of floors up. I suppose it doesn't really matter about privacy because no one's up that high to be able to see you. I guess it's just spaceships flying past, or maybe it's some kind of fancy alien glass that is reflective. I suppose that's not even alien, that's real, we have that. So maybe it's that glass that's reflective on the outside and you can see through it to the outside. On to the top floor. So this was supposed to be the most luxury floor. As you can see, it's got the really big fish tank in it, which I thought was kind of like, if it was an alien dystopian future a lot of years into the future, then maybe a lot of the species that we have now might be killed off or extinct, I suppose, and so it might be like a luxury to have some species of fish that we have now. I kind of thought that was the idea behind putting that one into the luxury apartment. And this apartment obviously has the best view and the most glass. And a yoga mat, which I'm so excited to have now. I'm so excited about having the yoga mat. I haven't had that since I only just got spa day, and I want to put it into so many builds. How cool is that evil chair on the left? I actually think I swap it out for something else, but I liked the way it made that lounge room look super evil, like some kind of maniac's gonna sit there and quiz you. Thought I'd switch it up a little bit with the kitchen for this one and do kind of a more like a gallery style kitchen, just to make it a little bit different from the one below. I was kind of getting a little bit bored of the same kitchen. Build is making me really just want to go and watch the Orville. I'm so excited to watch it. Are you watching it? If you're watching it, let me know in the comments below. I think it's really good. I like it a lot. It's very light-hearted. It's very, you know, it's a comedy. It's not really meant, it doesn't take itself very seriously, but it's a really good show. Some nice pricey art pieces there, and a few kind of more unique kind of art pieces in this one. So I decided to put in like the plane and things that might be like a little bit more rare in this future world. I toyed with the idea of putting these golems outside, but they were way too big. I'm glad I didn't do that. And there we go. I think that is the finished build, is it? Oh no, just a few more things to do. The bathroom. I decided that this apartment would be the only one that really has anything on the walls in it, because the other ones, the walls are very minimal except for the lighting, because they just can't, I guess they can't afford it, or it's not as luxury, and this one has things on the wall because it's the nicest apartment of the 4. A bit of a different bathroom for this one. I think I was thinking about putting the 2-in-1 shower bath in, but then I thought, you know what? This is the luxury level. They should have a separate bath and shower, so I ended up putting in the new shower and a new bath. I love those backlit mirrors, they're amazing. And there we go, this is the finished build. So I did snap quite a few screenshots of this one, just to show it off from all of its gorgeous angles, and so you can see the actual build part, because obviously that's not in this video, that was on my live stream. Yeah, I really love how this one came together. What do you guys think? I would love to hear what you think about this one, or if you're watching the Orville, let me know, and if you've got any ideas for future builds, obviously let me know. Usually love to do smaller builds, but you can always catch me over on Twitch. I usually stream once or twice a week, and it's usually The Sims, so if you're over there, give me a follow and you will know when I go live. And in the meantime, I hope that you have a really awesome day, and I will see you next time.